this is actually the end of spring break for me, so yeah, it's never long enough. I'm sure my students would say the same thing, but I really could have used another week. Anyway, I did, however, read quite a bit over break, and I also got some new used books because my father thought it was a bright idea to take me to a used bookstore. The man should really know better at this point. However, so the books that I finished over break was I finally finished Snowflower and the Secret Fan. You know that I was hoping to find more modern Asian lit for my World Lit course that I teach, and was hoping that this would be it because it's short. It's really interesting. It talks about foot binding and a lot of things about, I think it's 19th century China. Certainly stuff I never knew. It's not going to work. There's just some things in it that I don't think my students are mature enough to handle yet, which is perfectly fine. If I was teaching 11th grade, I would maybe consider it. But for 10th grade, it just feels like it's pushing the boundaries a little bit for me and possibly for my students. However, it was an excellent book. I have a written review of it. I probably won't do a video review. However, really good book. Would highly recommend it. Just not for what the purposes I was hoping it would be. Alright. I also read the second Alice in Zombieland series book, Through the Zombie Glass by Gina Showalter. I really liked the first one, and I enjoyed the second one very much. Not quite as much as I enjoyed the first. I got a little annoyed with some of the miscommunication between characters. I always get annoyed at stuff like that. I know that's the basis for a lot of conflict, but in my life I work very hard at there being no miscommunication, so when people do that, I just get annoyed with them. Also, Cole, the guy from this, who is, yes, very attractive and, kind of, kicks some butt and stuff like that, he has strong alpha male tendencies. It kind of annoys me a little bit. I want to, any guy who goes around being like, you're mine, and all this kind of stuff sort of gets on my nerves. Just kind of pushed it a little bit with this. That does not mean I won't read the next book, which I believe is in hardcover, so I might wait on that. However, very good book. I believe I gave it 3 stars, just because, like I said, it wasn't as engaging as the first one was, but it was still a really fun series, and I still really like Allie and her friend's cat, and just most of the girls in the story I generally like. I also read the first of the Grisha trilogy, Shadow and Bone. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. It's excellent. I really, really enjoyed it. The magic is interesting. I enjoyed the characters. Alina and Mal and even the Darkling I thought were really interesting. The world was interesting, very Russian sort of inspiration. The thing I would say that and it seems like I feel like this with a lot of the books I've been reading lately, is that the relationship, the romantic possibility relationships seem to be not as well developed as I wish they were. And I realize this is not supposed to be, the focus of it's not romantic. That's hopefully more of a side view, but that doesn't mean that doesn't need to be well developed. But I will read the second and the third book because it's a pretty cool series, pretty cool world, and I really want to know what's going to happen next. And I'm pretty certain somebody's going to come back because, of course, he does. Any attractive guy who might have a dark side tends to come back. So, anyway, really good. By Lee Bardugo, Shadow and Bone. I think I gave it 4 stars, definitely. I read Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, or Moss. I'm not positive about the pronunciation of that. I started reading this because everybody, it seems like, that I follow on my Tumblr that's a book blogger loves this series. It's a fantasy world. I was like, how can this not be cool? Because she's a assassin at 18 years old. That's pretty awesome. I believe her name is pronounced Selena. And there is a triangle, but I'm like, good, well done triangle doesn't bother me. There's a prince, Dorian, and then a captain of the guard named Cahal. It looks like Chow, but it's not pronounced that way. I have a very, very long review of this book, and I will put it below. I did not enjoy this at all. It was an interesting idea and it had a lot of potential. It's hard to believe someone's an assassin when they don't kill anyone for the majority of the book. When they sleep in and are snuck up on by all kinds of people. And also, I like that she's 17 or she's 18 and has some like girly interests and dresses and stuff like that. Kudos. That's awesome that she's not just like, oh, masculine, must not be girly, that's weak. I appreciate that. However, she seems very, very young and immature, which, again, 17, 18 years old, that makes sense, except for the fact that she's been training to be an assassin since she was 8. So that's 10 years. That would age a person. That would give them some sort of maturity and focus that I didn't feel she had as a character. Basically, very, very... she was not convincing as an assassin. The only character I liked was the captain of the guard, Keul. Maybe that's it. And I would consider reading the rest of the series to find out what happens to him because he was interesting. However, I probably wouldn't pay for it. I would get it from my library or borrow it from someone. So this was very disappointing. It showed a lot of promise. I just don't quite understand why everybody's so fascinated with it. I'm currently reading, I had started this a long time ago, and then it stopped, and so I'm picking it up again, currently reading Dr. No by Ian Fleming. I think one of the reasons I'm having a hard time with this is I think this is actually one of the closest movies following the book of them. Sorry, this makes noise. Except for the new Casino Royale. I think that also is very, very close. And I think because of that, since I know the movie pretty well, it's sometimes a little hard to keep reading because I know everything that's happening. So, but it's really good. I'm almost halfway. So that's what I'm currently reading, and it's good stuff. I like it. I went to the used bookstore in Tellico Plains. I think it was just called Used Books, and with an intention of finding a copy of As You Like It. But once again, as with most of my looking for As You Like It as a single copy, at least in bookstores, not like online, I'm sure I could find one online, I came to nothing. However, in that search, I found this. Now this looks pretty cool, doesn't it? It doesn't even have a publishing date on it. It is a collection of Shakespeare sonnets. And I don't think it's all of them. I haven't counted. It doesn't have them even listed. It also has pictures with them. And as I was searching, I did find my favorite one of my favorites in here, so I figured it was well worth it. I mean, that's pretty cool. My mom, who's always out on the lookout for me and for books, also recommended this, and I'd heard about it. It's called Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. It's a book about punctuation. It's very British. I've read very little. I started and I'm probably 10 pages in. But it's very British. It's very quirky and fun, and certainly interesting to see. First of all, what's the differences between British and American punctuation, and also how we are mocked as sticklers. And I'm not even that bad, but still. So, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves by Leon Truss. So far, it's really fun. Came out in 2007, so I'll read that. Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. At the used bookstore, they had this really cool edition. It looks nothing like the other ones with the guy on the cover, kind of cartoony and stuff. It's this beautiful hardcover, and it didn't cost very much because yay, used books. So I got a copy of that and hope to read it someday soon. Pretty cool. The best part of all those books that I got at the used bookstore was my mom paid for them. Thank you, Mom. I much appreciate that. So basically, I didn't spend any money on books this week, which is an impressive feat for me. I'm fairly proud of myself to get through that many books and just to have that freedom. I hope everyone had, if you just finished spring break, I hope you had a good spring break. If you're about to go on one, make smart decisions. Please don't do anything too dumb. You matter, okay? If you have any suggestions or comments, especially about the books I just talked about, please make a comment below, or an up or down. Especially if you liked Throne of Glass and you have issue with what I said about it, I would be interested in hearing your side of it, because I mean, I really went into this with open arms and an open mind and wanted this to be good, and just really, really felt disappointed, or any of the other books that I read. So that's it for me. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the spring. All that good stuff. Peace.